don't have money. But I do have a particular, that's Jason Statham. I, Liam Neeson. A particular set of skills. I don't have any money, but I do have cameras, and I got lights. I can't, this is one impression. I can't do Liam Neeson. I can't do Liam Neeson. I did want to do this. It's not a podcast. It's totally just me BSing. But not a podcast. It's a little weird just talking to myself. People do it all the time, like talk to yourself. I talk to myself quite a bit. Maybe we'll talk about movie reviews, stuff that I like, stuff that sticks to the title and doesn't go off on some weird tangent, some side quest that obviously someone who wrote it or producers had a bone to pick, and they put it in this movie that cost me $19.99 to watch one time. I don't want to commit to owning it, eat up megabytes in digital data space in the cloud. I don't want to invest into this. It's propaganda nowadays, but we might go over some movies. I just watched There Will Be Blood. Honest to goodness, every time I hear There Will Be Blood, I think of Hatebreed. It's like I Will Be Heard, but it's like, there will be blood. There will be blood. It's not Joe Rogan, and it's not even Tim Dillon, even though you might accuse me of copying his format, since he's like he's YouTube's best ranter. The one that I've been watching, and I don't think it's made me want to do a podcast, was PBD or BPD or whatever, Patrick David or Patrick Bet David. He's like, and you get the guy, and so you go around and you search this. So Google COVID September 2023, okay? And you go and you gotta go. So the deal is and the two guys, they're walking down the street, all right? One and so that's PBD, and that's I can talk like this. I can do this. What do you do is business assets, okay? Okay. And what we do is we bring on other guys and anyway, so I watched a lot of that, and it just, you see a lot of things and you start to think you can do it. And here I am trying to do it. And I don't even have anything to sell. Comedians do podcasts so they can raise ticket sales. But I have a job. I have like a normal job. I don't rely on making content for free. I would probably do it. I mean, I'll still shoot, even though YouTube and all this stuff is probably going to get nuked at some point in the near future. I hope not. Your phone is called a smartphone. I have yet to see it really help me out. Like me, smartphones assist you in, if you want to be a criminal, they can assist you in being a criminal. If you want to be a good person, they can assist you in being a good person. But if it were smart, it would not let you do criminal shit. And really, if it were really smart, you know how it hears you say, brands of toilet paper? I had a buddy at work the other day, and I promise you he's never shopped for such a thing. He mentioned a library ladder. And in 24 hours, he had ads from Temu for $1.97. He could buy 17 of those library ladders, like from Beauty and the Beast, where the pots and pans scoot across the thing. He could have bought that. And free shipping. And he just mentioned it one time. Well, I guarantee you, if your phone was so smart and it hears you say brands of things, it also knows my fat ass is at McDonald's every morning. It hears me say, I want the steak, egg, and cheese bagel with onions and whatever that nuclear yellow sauce is that they put on it. It could be the stale. I hate when it's stale, but that sandwich could be the stalest version of itself. It pretty much comes out like Panera Bread made it. You know how, like, if you bite into a piece of bread at Panera Bread, it's like 1.5 inch crushed gravel. This is like that, but it's got a little grease, so it softens the bread. And I've heard that the McGriddle is the worst sandwich.
Scoot on over, because we got the steak, egg, and cheese bagel over here at McDonald's. And I'll tell you what, it is greasier than shit, Bubba.
And I love that sandwich. But if my phone were smart, it would be like vibrating at my crotch saying, dude, as well as cancer, because you put us on your lap, you're getting fatter than shit and you're gonna clog those arteries. I can hear you eating. It hears me say toilet paper brands. I know it hears me talk about tedious little tasks I need to take care of. I think it's reading my thoughts. I've thought something and then a day later it's showing me an ad for it. Tell me that's not real. You've definitely experienced this. But again, it knows you're sitting still. I wear that watch, the Fitbit watch. Every 15 half hour, it reminds me of what a piece of shit I am. It'll be like, oh God, you're still sitting? And I mean, I have a desk job. I mean, again, that we're getting a little off topic. If your phone was so smart, I mean, listen, I have to be honest with you. I think that the phones are in our pockets to watch us. I do. I think that they're there to sell us more. It would remind you, I swear, if your phone was so smart, it would tell you that you haven't spoken to this person in such a long time. And I know it's hearing their conversation. And like if someone was talking trash about you and it kept hearing, man, Blake's a piece of shit. Blake's this, Blake's fat, Blake's this. Maybe my phone, if it were so smart, would send me a message and be like, you might send this person this. And they've been complaining about this, so you might mention that you're sorry about that. But it's not. It's like, hey, you want to play this medieval game that the guy from The Boys is for some reason promoting in a really weird manner. You should watch it. It looks really weird, like he's being held hostage playing this game. Yeah. I don't think phones are that smart. Yeah. I sometimes I catch myself saying stuff and I regret that I said it so close to it because I'm just talking about stuff out loud and I don't really want someone to react to it. Not this. You comment on this all you want. Probably won't, but still, you could. But I don't want my phone to be delegating what it thinks I need. It's never really anything cool. My phone's never been like, you need another RC. It's more like, we mentioned that you had hemorrhoids. Here's some cream for that. I'm never going to buy that, even though I do. Probably need to, but it's neither here or there. Yeah, I don't think phones are that smart. I think that if really, really it was, China puts like stuff about education on their TikTok, and right now, I mean, like, there's just death and outlandish material every time I get on my social media. I've probably trained my algorithm to view such things, but I don't actively go out and look for transsexual things and death and like crazy car chases where someone clearly gets murdered while being chased by the cops. Yeah, I don't think that it's healthy for us to be on there, and probably not healthy for you to be watching this. And I'm just kind of going on this whole rambling thing as part of getting old, which is rad. Getting old is actually cooler than I thought it would be. I'm 36. I'm not old, but I'm older than I was when I thought I was a young whippersnapper. The best thing about getting old is that I can control the thermostat everywhere I'm at. As long as my name is on the lease, I can tell you, I can delegate what we feel like. If I'm hot, I can make it cold. And if I'm cold, I can make it hot. And that was always a common argument whenever I lived at home. It really is hands down the best thing to do as an elder. I don't have much money. I have like $1,200 thanks to YouTube and that $350 that I still can't access because I'm not sure I'm doing anything right, but I still have nightmares about waking up having to go to school. I hated that place. I don't think I'm going to have kids. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not. Me and my wife have discussed this, but if I did, it'd be really hard to lie to them about saying school is everything. I remember being told, these are the best years of your life. Good Lord. What a terrible thing to say to a kid. I can't believe I'm doing this, though. It's so weird. Just talking to myself, to the camera, to put up snippets on the internet. I mean, it's this or I mean, I could be some hot chick that gaslights people into thinking the world's against her. Have you seen that? These chicks that they're like models who get on there and they're not, I mean, they're like in good shape or whatever, and they're talking about my husband tells me I'm fat. My husband tells me I'm worthless. My husband tells me this. And it's all for these gross, thirsty old dudes that type weird stuff with their boners. They get on there and be like, you're so beautiful. Oh my God. When they should be at work or hanging out with their kids or wife. It's weird. It's weird. I don't think anyone really cares what they're doing. It's just super clickbaity. Everything's a giant lie. On the internet, it is 100. I don't even think that woman, that one chick from OnlyFans, I don't think she really slept with 1,000 dudes. You can't do that. Like, someone tried to explain to me how that goes, and they insinuated that maybe the guys, like, there's a fluffer, which if you don't know what a fluffer is, listen, the only reason I know what a fluffer is because a freestyle motocross rider back in the day's nickname was Fluffer. You ask your friends at school what a fluffer is, they tell you. Well, that's what it is. It's someone who preps someone for a scene in an adult film. Now, apparently this story is that this OnlyFans model had a warehouse full, like a tower stairway of dudes in masks, just like cranking hog, waiting to get 8 seconds with this chick. And first off, I can't pee with anyone around. If my wife's standing in the doorway of the toilet, my bladder goes, mm-mm. It turns into Mitch McConnell. Just so to have to perform around a warehouse full of dudes, I couldn't imagine what that smelled like. Just a warehouse of boner. Blech. I don't care what kind of air freshener you have. There's nothing that's going to take that smell away. The must. And she's like proud of it. Apparently, not apparently, there is a shot where someone grazes the camera across this after the massacre. And there's just like jimmies all over the floor. And it does look decorated. It looks like a Hollywood set. In no way, shape, or form do I believe this woman really did that. She did it for the Guinness Book of World Records. It's 2025. We're stooping that low. I mean, we could go the whole other opposite. Have you guys heard of Team Elliott? Good Lord. I don't know a whole lot about this guy. He owns this thing called Team Elliott. Maybe his last name's Elliott. I'll be honest with you. Dude is shredded. He looks yoked out. He seems like he leads a pretty solid life. Although I will have to disagree with his tactics. Do yourself a favor and check out this guy. I went down the rabbit hole of this thing. He's got like wannabe alpha males posing as inspirational like coaches for sales and specifically the automotive industry. And I heard through the grapevine that he might have been a part of this dealership in Oklahoma that also had a pawn shop so that they could do like cash for cars. And it was like the scheme. And someone said it wasn't illegal, but then this person went to jail. And it was just a lot of crazy stuff. And now he's trying to teach people how to run businesses. And it seems like it's a little bit of a shtick just for the internets. It's genius because he's got these people convinced, but it really is. It's crazy. It's so awkward. Everyone looks like, again, they're held hostage in this room, they're at work. It's like he's like the David or the Gordon Ramsay of selling cars. You should probably just hate when this guy comes in. I'm going to call in sick if they ever hire him at my place. I mean, this guy, he comes in hot, and he is just,
all right, who's ready to sell a car today? I tell you what, I made $9 million yesterday in 3 hours just by taking a shit. You know, I did that because I'm bald and I'm shredded. I got a 13-pack, not a 10-pack, not an 8-pack. I got a baker's dozen of a pack in my abs. I'll tell you what, you think you could sell 6 cars? If I held your wife and kid hostage, you think you could sell 6 cars then?
that's the math this crazy ass is using. I mean, he could probably beat my ass. I don't know. I'm a good bear hugger. I'm not a fast fighter, not a fast runner. I'm not a big hitter, but I could hug the shit out of you, dude. I could squeeze a life out of someone, and I'm not saying I would do that. I would rather take his class and make millions, but I don't think I want to have my life threatened over better sales. That's insane. Sounds pretty nuts. I think that we're going to have a class action lawsuit against a lot of influencers someday about like tax evasion and some sort of manipulation of the system, because nobody's can go and buy $400,000 cars and throw them in a dumpster for, I don't know what the return on that is. I've heard it's called rage bait. From this podcast, you could probably sense it's a little ragey. I mean, it's making me rage out, but it's worse than reality TV, which made us all think we were somebody. I can't tell you how many times I've had to sit and listen to a group of friends I love say, man, dude, we should have a reality TV show. No, we should not. No one should. No, the Kardashians shouldn't. No one should have a reality TV show. It's insane. There's nothing reality about it. We have absolutely blurred the lines between decency. My dad used to tell me, Blake, have some class. And I do think about that from time to time, says the guy in a mullet. I try to go about this in a way that at least expresses my opinions in somewhat of an intelligent manner. Now, that may not be the case all the damn time. I'm sure I've got some people going, gosh, Blake is falling off the deep end. If this has been the same, I've been the same since day one. You can ask everybody from class, my best buddy of 20-something years. It's been like this since day one. I've just started to try to explain myself in a little bit of, I'm a D student, and I'm the only one that seemed to realize you can't put salt water from the ocean on vegetation to put fires out. If you put fires out with salt water, you will ruin your home with corrosive water that is salty. It devastates grass. It devastates everything for a long time. It'll kill your pets. It would ruin everything. And it's discouraging to be like alone and thinking this. And a lot of people, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. I think they're smart, and they seem like they have a good head on their shoulders. And they're like, the ocean's right there. Why wouldn't you just put the
Like, pour the ocean water on the house. Like, it'll be fine.
and you got to do the rabbit hole, and you got to go in the thing, and you got to do the research. But tell you what, you're going to have Trump on. You're going to have Joe. Come on. Okay. You're going to have Joe. You're going to have Trump on. You're going to have Trump on, and I feel it, okay? What's a good movie I've watched lately? Let's go down the rabbit hole. You know, I've actually got a pretty extensive library of solid films. Not that I've made. I'm talking iTunes. I paid outright, you know what I'm saying? I got over 400 movies and shows. Oh, my gosh. We have to talk about this. We have to talk about this show. Okay, the best show. This is the best show I've ever seen in a long time. It is called Mr. In Between. It is on FX or Hulu, and I'm telling you, this show is only 3 seasons long. The episodes are 20-ish, 30 minutes long. It is a dark comedy about a hitman in New Zealand or Australia. I'm sorry, I'm American, and I'm a not a well-educated one. So he's over there where they talk like this, yeah? All right, yeah? See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick you. I'm going to kick you right in the groin. I'm going to take my car. I'm going to hit you with the bumper. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to bury you out in the forest with the kangaroos and the wallaby. I'm going to go out there and take... Anyway, so this show called Mr. In Between is... Listen, I'll just pull it up. I had to buy it on iTunes because I wasn't gonna keep subscribing to the Hulu and the FX and all that stuff. It stars Scott Ryan, and it was made by this guy who is actually brothers with Joel Edgerton, who was in my other favorite movie called Warrior. We might do an episode or something on that, but Mr. In Between, juggling parental responsibilities, complicated relationships, a viciously smart preteen daughter, and an aging parent, all while earning a living. Might be difficult for anyone, but it's particularly tricky when you're a criminal for hire. Ray Shoesmith, Scott Ryan takes care of people, relieving them of drugs and guns, collecting debts, and often taking care of individuals on more permanent basis. So he is a hitman, and he gets into some pretty awesome gunfights. He's great in the action shot, super awesome. The story is super good. It takes you on a roller coaster. I would absolutely suggest that if you and your wife or you and your husband are looking for a show to watch, Mr. In Between is so good. If the first 3 minutes don't hook you, I don't know how it won't. It just is so good. The characters on it, you'll recognize some people. The guy who played Charles Manson in both the David Fincher series as well, I guess that was called Mindhunter. He played Charles Manson in that, and he played Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Well, he is kind of the boss. He's the boss of Ray Shoesmith, who is the main character in this show. And the fighting, I researched the gun action in this is so realistic that they took the time to make sure that he reloaded at accurate times. I know that as a motorcycle enthusiast, I hate when a movie gets the sounds wrong. You can see a 4-stroke pipe, you can tell it's a 4-stroke bike, and then pretty soon you hear 19 gears with John Connor riding it, getting chased by the Terminator. I hate that. So when people appreciate realism like this, you hear bone cracking and knuckles. The fighting is awesome. He is so grounded. It's such a grounded story. He's so realistic. This is my favorite show. I can watch it anytime. I highly suggest this. I don't know how they don't keep going. Unfortunately, it became popular after its run, and it went to streaming. It is truly a crime that this show never took off. I've never wanted a show to come back on TV so badly. More than Game of Thrones, more than True Detective, and I loved True Detective. If you guys want to know another show, we'll get to that. We can do another referral thing if you guys like, comment, subscribe. I hated even saying that. That's so stupid. But comment and what you'd like to see as far as reviews go and TVs and shows. I like to think I have a pretty good taste for entertainment. I don't like subscribing to things that are a lecture. This is definitely not that. They tiptoe into the gay thing, which honestly, any sex of any sort in movies and shows, I'm kind of like with Henry Cavill on this one. I'm not sure I appreciate it, and I really think it's unnecessary. Unless it's like a movie like 50 Shades of Gay or Grey or whatever it is, that's fine. Other than that, leave it out. Heterosexual sex, gay stuff, whatever, it's fine. But if, I can only think of a few scenarios in which a relationship actually mattered, and there's only a few, especially gay ones. I guess As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson, where his neighbor's gay, and the reason that they bring that up is because his family disowns him because of a different time. And they had to play that into the plot. That makes sense, but nowadays me and my wife will be watching a show, like a 8-part, 9-part series, and it's about a crime, and it's about something horrific, which is probably telling about us, but you start watching it because the title's the murder in Quail Creek, and you watch it, and 3 episodes in, once they've got you invested, they take this side journey onto the lawyer's gay adventure through college onto the case that he's working, and it has nothing to do with the story. I sound like a bigot, but realistically, I think everyone just is sick of this. So I'm only going to suggest movies that I know won't piss you off. If you prefer movies that have some sort of weird leftist agenda, these are not going to be suggestions for you. And I'm not being hateful. I'm just saying, we all have different tastes, but very few of you have this very specific taste. And stop making us. I'm done indulging in it. I block influencers like I'm getting paid to. If I see anything on the internet that's check this out, if I scroll, don't care, And it's like all I can tell the acting on social media is worse than in porn films. I seriously can't. These couples that do like all they do is get ready to go out, but then I don't know if they go out because they just film in like the hallway of the hotel. You could tell it's a hotel because they have no decorations, because they have no home, because they're house poor. I'm not hating. I'm just stating. These are all things that I've thought of. D student here. I'm going on this huge rant, but what do you expected? You clicked on this. I can't believe you're still here. I don't even know how long we've been going, but I think I'm going to try to make it like an hour. We'll see. We're probably at like 30 minutes, which is it's not that great. But I've got so many movies and shows. Like, let's see, another recent movie I've watched. So, a really good movie that I've seen recently. Oh, man. Okay. So, there is a movie on Netflix right now called Rebel Ridge. Now, the reason I bring this up, I didn't know that the guy that made this was my guy. Now, I've got a few people that I consider to be my own personal, like, you know how you find bands for everyone else? I found these directors before they went big. So, let's get behind this Blue Ruin. So, the director is Jeremy Saulnier, and I am probably butchering that. The guy who made this movie made another film, and we're going to talk about that. It's so good. But Rebel Ridge is another one of those. It's a take on a story that, again, doesn't get manipulated with some sort of weird agenda, and it has a really good tone. It's shot really well. You can tell people took care in this story, made sure the action was on point. The way they reveal our protagonist against the antagonist, I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I actually watch movies like people watch sports. And there's a lot to be said about this movie that I love. It doesn't have that shoot 'em up style take on this sort of, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but it's dirty cops doing dirty cop stuff and a ex-military vigilante style. This could be like an updated Rambo, like where they don't take it so crazy, but this is our generation's Rambo. I mean, it's up there. It's pretty dang good. Well, this guy, Jeremy Saulnier, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering his name. He's never going to watch this, so it doesn't matter. Blue Ruin. Blue Ruin is a movie he made, which you never heard of. I don't know how I found out about it. There is a very peculiar story in this film, and I want to lay it out like this. It is one of those films you could put yourself in the main character's shoes so very easily because it deals with a circumstance that every single one of us in some way, shape, or form could be in. And I think everyone has found themselves in some sort of, like, I don't want to say fantasy, but you project yourself to these places where if this happened, what would you do? And you hope those things never happen. I don't want this to happen to me. And it takes an everyday man out of a poor situation, literally, and puts him smack dab in the middle of a huge problem. Now, the way it's handled is on camera and situationally is so good. It is so good. If it's one of the, don't play on your phone. I should have started this first. If you watch movies or shows while you're on your phone, don't watch movies or shows. You are missing, there's a reason I only watch stuff, they put stuff in for a reason. I can't say that for everything, especially Disney stuff. There's a lot of bullshit they put in there that couldn't have. I fast forward past sex and gay stuff, and I miss nothing that has to do with the story or the end result. That's a fact, Jack. Anywho, there's a lot of stuff that gets put in there. So if you are on your phone, you're missing stuff. You know, there could be a simple glance by a key character, a key moment. You missed it. Now you have no idea. So it doesn't affect you like it was meant to. You're missing out. It's like hearing the end of a song or half a punchline. You need to collect all the information. These writers and producers took the time to put in a specific order, and you need to pay attention to get the full effect. These are those films and shows. There are popcorn movies where you can just like look at Transformers and
The Autobots, the Decepticons.
that's just like metal dust flying in the air and it forms a tiger that's metal and it's an alien, and we don't ask questions and you don't need answers, so you stupidly watch and you play on your phone and you TikTok and you do all that, MySpace. These are not those. You have to stay locked in. Guys, I'm here watching the Breaking Bad, and I'm telling you, in 5 hours in, I'm locked in. So I can't stress that enough. You've got to pay attention. If you miss something, you'll regret it. Now, this movie, Blue Ruin, from start to finish, is a slow burn. There are parts in it that pick up, but you have to go into it knowing that it's like you just enjoy the ride. It's going to take you on a good one. So I am so pumped. I enjoy doing this. It is fun. I don't know that I'm going to do it all that often. I might do it like once a week. I'm doing this right now just because I felt like it. I'm at home alone, bored, and yeah, why not me? You know, I've had friends tell me like I kind of wanted to do like, I kind of used to wanted to do comedy. So I've written some jokes out, things like that. Maybe I'll apply it to this. I don't think I'll ever have the balls to get on a do a stand-up set or try to do a minute at an open mic. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I've toyed with that. So this might be that outlet, and this might be the way to go. And it's harmless. I mean, if information harms you, then don't watch this. You don't even have to finish. You don't have to say anything. You can just move on and go watch whatever it is you prefer. And you know, I'm not trying to adhere to any sort of algorithm. I don't really care how long this is. I don't care how short it is. I don't mind if I say something that is offensive to someone. I don't want to offend everyone. I think that's the worst thing you could do is try to offend people. But just by having an opinion, I don't think that should be offensive. And I'm trying to introduce new things to my channel. I've spent, it's been on YouTube since 2008. So, I mean, that's a long time to have a YouTube channel with no success. And at this point, I have nothing to lose because I make zero money off of it. And I really don't mind if it fails. It's kind of already failed. Like, I mean, it's done. I can put new stuff on there, 30,000 something subscribers, and maybe 15 people will see it, which is really weird. I just never begged you guys to subscribe. I never begged you to hit the notification bell because it's not pride. It's just something I didn't want to do. I didn't think it was necessary. But it really is, like I've said before, it's a machine that takes feeding. And it doesn't matter what you insert to it. As long as it smells like content and looks like content, it can be as offensive as it is vulgar and gross and unprofessional. But shoot, if they can put an ad on it, you better believe it's gonna make some money. So, I mean, I couldn't imagine anyone being upset at anything I've done on this. I did enjoy doing this. So we'll see if there's more. I don't know.